Assalamu alaikum. Good morning, my dear students. Today, inshallah, we will complete our lessons in the geometry part, grade 7. In the last session, we started the concepts of concepts of some geometric concepts like line segments and line segment and ray and straight line. And we say that the line segment is a set of points. When we join them by ruler, we will get the line segment, and the ray is a line segment extended from one direction infinitely, and the straight line is a line segment extend from the both directions infinitely. And we say that the line segment subset to ray subset, and there is a ray subset to the straight line. And we know that the angle is a union between two rays. Union between two rays is the angle, and we studied the types of angles, and we see that zero angle is its measure is 0 degree, and the two rays is coincident, and the acute angle and its measure is more than 0, less than 90. Obtuse angle and its measure is more than 90, less than 180, and the right angle its measure is 90 degree, and the straight angle and its measure is 180 degree. And we know that the reflex angle is more than 180, less than 360, and we say that the sum of the angle and its reflex is 360 degree. Today, inshallah, we will know the relations between angles. Before, let's make a quick revision. If measure of reflex angle A equal to 170, then measure of angle A with B, we say that the angle plus its reflex equals 360. So if the reflex angle 270, then the angle will be 270 minus 360 degree. So the angle will be 90 degree. Line segment was extend from its two terminal to infinity. The result will be two terminal points. Line segment extended from two terminal points. The resultant will be straight line. The measure of the acute angle is greater than 0 and 0 degree and smaller than 90 degree. First part in our lesson is the two adjacent angles. What's the meaning of two adjacent angles? The two adjacent angles. The two angles be adjacent if they have a common vertex. If the two angles have a common vertex and common side, and the outer side, the other two sides are in the opposite sides of the common sides. As we say, we have two angles. The first angle is DAC, and the second angle is CAB. Angle, this angle, and this another angle. We have two angles. We can say that the two angles are adjacent angles if we have three conditions. What are the three conditions? First condition is have that the two angles have a common vertex, the same vertex. As we see in angle DAC, the vertex is A. And in angle CAB, the vertex also is A. So the two angles have the common vertex and the common side. Again, angle DAC and angle CAB. The common side is AC, common side between the two angles. The third condition is the other two sides are in the opposite side of the common sides. The other two sides, AD and AB, the other two sides. are in the opposite sides of the common side. In the opposite sides of the common sides. So we can say that the two angles are adjacent angles. Again, the adjacent angles, we can say that the two angles are adjacent angles if we have three conditions. First condition, common vertex. Second condition, common side. And the other two sides in the opposite sides of the common side. Pay attention. If we talk about the two angles BAC, BAC, this angle BAC, I will mark it BAC. And the second angle is with another color. And the second angle is BAD. BAD. These two angles are not adjacent angles. Why not adjacent angles? We say to be the two angles are adjacent if we have three conditions. First condition, common vertex. Yeah, we have a common vertex. Angle is a common vertex. But where's the common side? A common side is AB. As we say, the common side is AB. This is the common side. But the two sides, other two sides, is not in the opposite sides of the common side. No, in the same side, not in the opposite sides. The other two sides in the same side, not in opposite sides of the common side. So the third conclusion not found through the two angles are not adjacent angles. Again, can we say that the two angles are adjacent angles? The two angles is angle ABC, angle BAC. And the second angle is CED, CED. The two angles are not adjacent angles. Why? Because they doesn't have a common vertex. They don't have a common vertex. The vertex is A, and the vertex here is E. The two angles don't have a common vertex, so we can say that the two angles are adjacent angles. The complementary angles. Second part in our lesson is the complementary angles. As we say that we have two angles. Angle A, B, C, and the angle X, Y, Z. The two angles are said to be complementary if the sum of their measure is 90 degrees. If we add the measure of first angle and the measure of the second angle, and we say that their sum is 90 degrees, we can say that the two angles are complementary angles. So the complementary angles is the two angles, their sum is 90 degrees. So if the measure of angle CBA is 30 degrees, and the measure of angle ZYX is 90 degrees, 60 degrees. So their sum is 90 degrees. So the two angles are complementary angles. If the two adjacent angles are complementary angles, then their outer sides are perpendicular. Sure, because the sum is 90 degrees. 90 degrees, it means that the two sides are perpendicular. It's a very important remark. If the two adjacent angles are complementary, the two adjacent angles are complementary angles, then the adjacent angles will be complementary. So their outer sides, what perpendicular to adjacent angles are complementary. So their outer sides would be are perpendicular. The two adjacent angles is DAB and CAD. So their outer sides CA and sorry AC and AB are perpendicular, the outer sides. The two complementary angles are acute, or one of them is zero angle and the other is right angle. The two, if we have two complementary angles, so one of them is acute angle. So the other will be what? Their sum is 90 degree. Complementary angle means that their sum is 90 degree. So if we have one of them acute angle, second angle should be acute also. But if one of them is 0 degree, so the second will be what? To find 90 degree will be right angle because 0 plus 90 equals 90. So angle, the zero angle is complements to what? Right angle. And acute angle is complements to acute angle. And right angle is vice versa, complements to zero angle. Another remark, the complements of the same angles are equal in measure. What does that mean? If we have angle A and angle A complements to angle C and angle B is complements also to angle C, we will find that angle A equal angle B in measure. Angle B in measure. If we say that angle C is 40 degree, so angle C will be 40 degree. If C 40 degree and the two angles A and C are complementary angles, so A will be what? To complete 90 degree, it will be 50 degree. And vice versa if angle C is 40 and it's complement to angle B. So angle B will be 50 degree. We find that angle A equal angle B in measure. So we can say that the complements of the same angle are equal in measure. The complements of the same angle are equal in measure. And the complements of the equal angles in measure are equal in measure. Find some brackets, complete the following. The angle of measure 15 complements to angle of measure what? We say that the two complementary angles, their sum is 90 degree. If one of them is 15 degree, so the second will be 90 minus 15. 90 minus 15, so the angle will be 75 degree. The acute angle complements to what? We say that acute to find 90. So the angle will be, suppose that the angle is 70 degree. Any acute angle, 70, 40, 80, 30. So the second angle will be what? Will be 20 degree. So the 20 degree, the type of angle with measure 20 degree is acute angle. So the acute angle is complements to acute angle. If measure of angle A equal measure of angle C and B complements measure of angle A and D complements measure of angle C, Then measure of angle B equal measure of angle what? Again, measure of angle A equal measure of angle C. And B complements to measure of angle A. So we can say that B complements to C, and the measure of angle D complements to measure of angle C. Then measure of angle B equal measure of angle D. Supplementary angles. Third part in our lesson is supplementary angles. The two angles are said to be supplementary if the sum of their measure is 90, 180 degrees. We say that the two complementary angles, their sum is 90 degrees. But here the two supplementary angles, their sum is 180 degrees. The two angles are said to be supplementary if the sum of their measure is 180 degrees. If we have two angles like CBA and ZYX, we can say that the two angles are supplementary angles if their sum is 180 degrees. So if we say that angle CBA is 60 degrees, and the angle ZYX is 180, 120 degree. Their sum is 180 degree. 60 plus 120 is 180. So their sum was 180 degree. So we can say that the two angles are supplementary angles. Two adjacent angles. It's a very important remark. Two adjacent angles formed by a straight line and array with a starting point on the straight line are supplementary. Two adjacent angles formed by what? By a straight line and array with a starting point on this straight line are supplementary. Straight line and array. So the straight line and the array form two angles. First angle and the second angle. So the two angles will be supplementary angles. We can find a supplementary angles if we have a straight line and the array with a starting point on this straight line. So we will find two angles and this sum will be 180, 180, and the two angles are supplementary angles. And they called adjacent supplementary angles. We can call them adjacent supplementary angles. If the two adjacent angles are supplementary, vice versa, if the two adjacent angles are supplementary, then the outer sides are on the same straight line. On the same straight line. The two adjacent angles are supplementary. The two adjacent angles are supplementary. Two adjacent angles are supplementary. Then their outer sides are on the same straight line. Adjacent, supplementary. So what sides, the outer sides will be on the same straight line. The supplements of the same angles are equal in measure of the same angles as we see in the complementary angles. Angle A is supplements to angle C, and the angle B is supplements to angle C also. So we can find that angle A equals angle B in measure. Let's have an example. If we say that angle C is 120, it supplements to angle A. So angle A will be what? 60. Their sum is 180. To be supplementary, their sum should be equal 180 degree. So if angle C 120, angle A will be 60. As we see angle C 120. So angle B will be what? 60 also. We find that angle A equals angle B in measure. So the supplements of the same angles are equal in measure. Supplements of the same angles are equal in measure. The two supplementary angles are right angles. Two supplementary angles are right angles. We can say that we have two right angles. If we have two right angles, the two angles are supplementary. Or one of them is zero angle and the other is straight angle. And one of them acute, so the other will be obtuse angle. So right angle or zero angle supplements to what? Straight angle. I want to their sum equal 180 degree. So if one of them zero, the second will be straight 180. And if one of them is acute, the second will be suppose that the acute angle is whatever 30 degree. The other will be what? The measure of the other angle will be what? I want to, their sum is 180. The second will be 150. Yeah, 150. The type of the angle with a measure 150 is what? Obtuse angle more than 90 less than 180. So if one of them is acute, so the second will be obtuse angle. Right angle is 90 degree. So the second will be also right. Their sum is 180 degree. Complete the following. The angle of measure 145 supplements to angle of measure 180 degree. Of measure what? The first angle is 145. Supplements means their sum is 180 degree. So if one of them 145, the second will be what? 180 minus 145. So the measure is 35 degree. Acute angle supplements to what? The acute angle is supplements to acute angle is supplements to obtuse angle and complements to be attention. Here he asked me to find the supplements angle, but here's the complements angle. Supplements, I want their sum to be 180. So one of them is acute, the second will be obtuse. But complements angle, their sum is 90 degree. So if one of them is acute, the second will be acute angle. If the two adjacent angles are supplementary, then what? Their obtuse, their outer sides are on the same straight line. Exercise. If AD is a straight line, find the value of x. As we say, we have a straight line DA and we have three angles. Angle EBD and 55 degree and angle EBXC X degree and the angle CBA is 65 degree. Find the value of x, the measure of angle EBC. The three angles are supplementary angles. The three angles are supplementary angles, then their sum is 180 degree. So to find the value of x, we will add 55 plus 65 and subtract them from 180 degree. X will be 180 minus what? 55 plus 65. So x will be 60 degree. Next question. Angle E, we have angle EBD is 40 degree, and the angle EBC x, and the angle CBA is x. So we find that the two angles denoted by the same symbol, so the two angles are equal in measure. We can find one of them and divided the measure divided by 2 to find the value of each one. X will be 40 degree subtracted from 180 degree. So 180 degree minus 40 divided by 2. So the value of each one will be 70 degree. Are BA ray and BD ray on the same straight line or not? If the two rays are on the same straight line, then the sum of the two angles is 180. So add the two angles, add 50 plus 125. If their sum is 180, so the two rays of the same straight line, 125 plus 150 plus 125, the sum is 175, not 180. So the two rays not on the same straight line. The next one, 135 plus 45. And their sum of this sum is 180 degrees. So the two angles on the same straight line, or the two rays on the same straight line, and we can say that the two angles are supplementary angles. So their sum is 135 plus 45. We will find that the sum of the two angles is 180 degrees. So we can say that the two rays on the same straight line and the two angles are supplementary angles, vertically opposite angles. So tomorrow we have studied the relations between some of relations between two angles. First part is the complementary angles, and we say that the two angles are complementary angles of their sum is 90 degree, and we say that uh, the two complementary angles their sum is 90 degree, and the two supplementary angles their sum is 180 degree. And we have studied the adjacent angles, and we say that the two angles are adjacent angles if we have three conditions. First condition is if the two angles have a common vertex, and second condition the two angles have the common side, and third condition the two outer sides are in the opposite sides of the common side. We will complete our lesson in the next session, inshallah. Thank you for your listening, and see you again.